Marc Clair here for Bounding into Comics, and I promised myself I would move on from Echo. I promised myself, but sometimes the headlines, once I think I'm out, they suck me back in. This headline comes from Spencer Bakuli over at Bounding into Comics. Marvel's Echo star Vincent D'Onofrio, fantastic actor, offers his take on Kingpin's ending in Disney Plus series. He says, "I don't think he's changed. I think he's enlightened." And let's just take a look. By the way, you can find the link to this article in the description of this video, so I encourage you to check the full thing out. Look at the sad, ugly mug of the poor Kingpin after everything he's been through since coming into the MCU. Now, just to recap things for you. Now, first of all, Vincent D'Onofrio is a fantastic actor, and he portrayed Kingpin incredibly in the original Daredevil Netflix series. As I discussed in my last video, it does seem like they are trying to at least do their best to recapture the magic, so to speak, in the new Daredevil series. They've totally scrapped the writers and have supposedly brought in, or at least the rumors say they've brought in the same actors that played Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. And, of course, they're going to bring back the Kingpin. Are these good signs? I don't know. I try to be positive, but it does become difficult when you continue to watch what is being put out there by Marvel Disney. Now, just to recap what has gone on with the character of Kingpin since he emerged into the MCU. He first came in the Hawkeye series. That's when we first got a glimpse of him. In that series, he was reintroduced or introduced, depending on your perspective, and immediately defeated by Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, a brand new superhero who shoots arrows. That was how you introduced one of the more intimidating characters in the MCU. I mean, he had a 20-minute fight with Daredevil to cap off season 1. Incredible fight, but, new Hawkeye, teenager with arrows, no problem. Then, later in that very episode, the titular character of the Echo series, Echo, she corners Kingpin in an alley and shoots him in the face, which is why, luckily, he survived due to modern technology and whatnot, and because comics. Look at this. The poor guy. He looks so sad and defeated right now, which might be how the actor might be feeling in a sense as well. But Vincent D'Onofrio, he's a company man. He's doing his best, it seems like. So we're going to go check out a little from this article. While most fans walked away from the season finale of Marvel's Echo utterly disappointed, I wouldn't say I was disappointed. Now, the only reason I watched this series was basically so I could comment on it. And so for you, essentially. I wouldn't say I was disappointed, because to be disappointed, I would have to have expectations in the first place, which I surely did not at this point. This series reduced Wilson Fisk to nothing more than a literal blubbering mess. Yes, it did. The character's actor, Vincent D'Onofrio, whether through his own honest opinion or at the direction of his employers, we can only speculate, has posited that rather than the Kingpin's breakdown being one of fear, it was one of enlightenment. Okay, now there will be a spoiler for Echo coming right now. For any of you just waiting to buzz through this series, now granted, I want to recap again. Kingpin has already been defeated twice by two females that we just met in the first series that he was introduced in. And now he's coming back. Maybe he's got a new badass attitude. He's got shot in the face. He got a bullet in his eye, but he's still going. What's he going to do to redeem himself? Well, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to get defeated yet again. Hey, there I am talking about Daredevil. Talk about synergy here. At the end of this fight, Maya closes out, as Spencer describes here, by bringing the Kingpin to his knees and hitting him with what can best be described as the Choctaw equivalent of Ghost Rider's penance stare. This is literally what happened. I mean, you can see the screenshot here. Instead of defeating him in battle, which I guess, we already saw that twice in the MCU, so why do that? She defeated him by healing his trauma. The Kingpin screamed at Maya. He said, "What did you do?" Before the scene cuts from his screaming to this moment where he's running into his vehicle and just crying and bawling and bawling. This is the Kingpin defeated by his trauma healing. He was defeated by his trauma healing. Now, I'm not even going to get into the absurd powers that they gave Echo, and nothing to do with the comics. I mean, this is not a character I had necessarily much affinity for in the comics myself. Other people have, but this is nothing like that character to begin with. And then we have just, for the third time, For the third time in the year and a half since he came into the MCU, we have seen the Kingpin soundly defeated and soundly humiliated. Now, this is all supposed to set up, as we see in the post-credit scene of the show, that the Kingpin in this new, I suppose, enlightened state, he is on his private jet and sees a news story about the mayoral race, and it's decided he's going to run for mayor. And this, I suppose, will be the storyline going into Daredevil Born Again. That idea of a storyline I like on its surface. We saw the Mayor Kingpin thing recently in the comics, and I think it was, for a Marvel story, not that bad. It had some good elements to it, and that has a lot of potential on the screen. If this were a character that we've been shown is intimidating or has any kind of power or is anything we should be worried about running for mayor, I mean, at this point, we've seen him defeated 3 times, the third of which left him literally a crying, bubbling mess. God bless Vincent D'Onofrio. He's doing his best with this, and like, great actor, fantastic actor. And he says right now, he says, I gotta read you this quote from Vincent D'Onofrio. He says, "I wanted to do the right thing here and say something that is true, but not too revealing. I don't think he's changed. I think he's enlightened. I haven't seen a lot of the episodes of Echo." I laughed so hard when I saw that quote. God bless you, Vincent D'Onofrio. You haven't seen a lot of the episodes of Echo, so maybe even you don't realize what a mess you're in, and maybe it's just for the best. Maybe you should cash those paychecks and just perform Kingpin as you have been. I mean, I think he's doing the best he can do with this script. That his portrayal of the Kingpin is spot on. There's nothing I can really argue with. What my argument with is the writing and the portrayal of the character by these people that clearly have no affinity for the character and clearly don't have any real designs on how to build someone up to be. I mean, look at this. This is from Echo, actually, right before she shoots him in the face. It's sad. It is sad. I do hope that we see a better version of the Kingpin in the Daredevil Born Again series. I'm kind of scared to see it at this point, to be honest with you. But like I said, they've redone the scripts. They've changed direction on that show. Maybe that's a good thing, to be honest. From what I've seen so far with Echo and the Kingpin's portrayal, I'm just going to go ahead and, just like I did with Echo, I'm just going to not have expectations. And if anything, perhaps I'll be pleased. But I don't think I'll be disappointed, because I don't think I can be at this point. This has been Marc Clair for Bounding into Comics. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell so you don't miss any of the great content from the whole team here at Bounding into Comics.